Welcome everyone to the Week 15 FantasyCruncher DraftKings quarterbacks video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Give us that thumbs up on the page for a chance to win FantasyCruncher Pro 1-week subscription. And we've got a winner to announce. It's SF Bay Chiefs. Congratulations, your account has already been credited 1 week of FantasyCruncher Pro. If you want your chance to win this week, just, again, subscribe, like, and leave in the comments section with your FantasyCruncher username the quarterback you think will score the most DraftKings points this week on the main slate. That's it. That's all you got to do. Simple enough. Get yourself that free week of FantasyCruncher Pro. Let's do it. Once again, we got another full slate of games. We've got that full 13-game slate. I actually think next week is the last week of Thursday Night Football. So week 17, I even think we get a larger slate than that. We get like the nice big 15-gamer. But that's not this week. Last week we talked about how there were a lot of warm weather games, and surprisingly this week we're in pretty good shape too. The big concern spots are Cincinnati, Green Bay, Washington. Those are the three that I'm looking at right now that could potentially have some weather issues. So we'll have to check back in on those later in the week. We'll start at the top. Patrick Mahomes, you know, he's a really awesome quarterback. He's got super talent, but he really hasn't flashed any ceilings since he came back with that knee. Had that one big game against Cincinnati, and then everything since then has been kind of just blah. Now, some of that's just because they haven't needed him, but like in that Chargers game in Mexico, they could have used him, and he just didn't really crush. So I'm kind of staying away from Mahomes at this point. Denver played one hell of a game in Houston last week. I was really impressed with Drew Lock. I think I said on this video, if Drew Lock takes my money, he can have my money. Well, he took my money all right. So... It happens sometimes. Didn't get that one right. But no Patrick Mahomes for me. Russell Wilson on the road in Carolina is a tough spot. Tough loss for Seattle in LA. Cross-country flight, 1 p.m. after the semi-short week on Sunday Night Football. Gonna pass. Jameis Winston. I always play Jameis Winston. You know, looks like he's going to play this week. Sure looks like he's going to play. If he plays, I'm playing him. Detroit's secondary is terrible. Mike Evans losing him is bad, but again, the Detroit in a dome, I'm not fading Jameis Winston. Deshaun Watson, Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill. Imagine if I told you preseason on a 13-game slate that Ryan Tannehill would be the 5th most expensive quarterback. I think you would have asked me, like, what the hell happened on the planet? But here we are. We are in Week 15, and Ryan Tannehill is the 5th most expensive quarterback. I can't get to Ryan Tannehill at 6,500. Like, I get it. He's played good football games. I'm just not playing Ryan Tannehill as the 5th most expensive quarterback on the slate. Like, give me Baker, give me Deshaun Watson, give me Fitzpatrick. Although I probably would want to see if Devontae Parker's going to play before I go that way. Give me Jared Goff, who once again played another fantastic game this week. I'm just not playing Ryan Tannehill. And if it costs me, it costs me. But you can't play everyone. And Ryan Tannehill is the 5th most expensive quarterback is where I'm going to draw the line. Carson Wentz, you know, I've mentioned it for a while. He's been pretty bad. He finally had a multi-touchdown game here against the Giants, mostly because of overtime and that garbage 1-yard pass. A lot of that was the Giants' secondary. It wasn't really on Carson Wentz. I'm still avoiding him basically at all costs. Then we kind of get to this ugly group, Jimmy G, Tom Brady, who, like, he's going to explode one of these weeks. I know he had another bad game last week, but, God, he's going to, like, one of these games he's just going to crush. Like, he had another touchdown taken off the board. I think Tom Brady is viable. I'm not sure I'm going to get to him at 6K when Baker's 64 and Deshaun's only 68. Value should open up this week, but if it doesn't, I guess it's possible. Daniel Jones is going to be the chalk here. He's 5,600 against Miami. Hard to ignore him. Miami gives up the most passing yards. Daniel Jones has shown against Tampa earlier this season what he can do against bad defenses. So looks like Daniel Jones is going to play. And so he'll be one of my highest owned quarterbacks. Kyler struggled here since the ankle sprain. A couple tough matchups. I don't mind this as a rebound spot. Going and facing San Fran, LA, and Pittsburgh is tough. It's just hard for me when I know that this ankle sprain was, you know, heading into week 13, and the rushing's really kind of cut down since then. Only 10 attempts over the last 2 games. I'm worried about it, but it's a good matchup here, and he's still got that rushing ceiling. If the ankle's fine, he could go off, so 5,600. That's another quarterback that I'm seriously considering this week. You know, it's funny. Like a lot of these past weeks, we've had like a ton of quarterback options. There's just a lot of guys in just bad spots. Kirk Cousins at the Chargers. Chargers kind of have nothing to play for, but they've been playing good football. That's a tough spot. Trubisky in Green Bay. We saw opening night what that spot was. Matt Ryan at San Fran. I know San Fran's injury depleted, but you know, Matt Ryan just lost Calvin Ridley. He's one of his best receivers. I don't know if I want to go there. So I'm really kind of just looking at 3 or 4 guys. Jared Goff, Fitzpatrick, Mayfield, Watson, and Winston as the big 5 with, you know, maybe some peripheral Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, and Kyler Murray if I'm playing a ton of teams. But this week kind of seems pretty straightforward at the quarterback position. I don't want to get cute. There really isn't any dogs that I think are in fantastic spots in terms of quarterbacks other than Baker Mayfield, but he's the favorite. Talked about Kyler. Don't think Jimmy G's going to need to go crazy. Dak Prescott, I guess, is a decent option at 6,300, but that Rams secondary has been really good or really bad. It's been Jekyll or Hyde. And they looked really good against Russell Wilson last week. Although I guess Dallas does have a better offensive line. Maybe. I guess I could see Dak in a large field tournament, stack him up with Cooper, run him back with Gurley or Woods. Kupp, by the way, only ran 19 routes last week. We'll talk about that here in a little bit at the wide receiver video, so make sure you tune in for that one. Yeah, I think that's really about it. I don't really see a ton of sneaky quarterbacks this week. I think this is kind of one of those keep it simple positions. We don't need to get super cute here. So again, if you haven't already, subscribed, like, and leave in the comments section with your FantasyCruncher username the quarterback that you think will score the most fantasy points this week. And make sure you check out the wide receiver video, the running back video, and the tight ends defense videos that'll come out later in the week. Those are going to be a little more interesting. I think those positions are a little more interesting, a lot more pivots, a lot more options. So check those out. And until then, guys, check out all the other videos on our FantasyCruncher YouTube page. We'll see you next time.